Okay, so I trust that everyone on this call right now has already switched off all the distractions, be it mobile phones, Facebook, Skype, TV, and a lot, anything else I may have not named, okay? Because most important thing is that focus is the key. And I understand with the way information is nowadays, there's a lot of things that's taking out our attention every day. So for the next one, I would just like your help and cooperation just to be with me. And I promise you, what you're going to get out of this training, it will pay off in dividends, because this is something that has built my business to millions of dollars over the years. And it's also what my business partners, my strategic partners, and even my students have done as well. And for the record, I just want to solve one possible assumption that everyone may have on this call, or if not most of the people here, is that at the end of this training, I've got nothing to sell to you. So I'm not going to hit up with you with some kind of offer or anything like that. Nothing wrong with that. It's just that I feel that I do have something else I would like to share with you, but that will be something you're going to discover at the end of this training. Okay, so focus is the key. And that being said, the topic of my presentation today is called Big Payday Secrets. So I think that probably most, if not all of you, had been a customer of mine, especially when you purchased this product, my private label rights, not long ago. So, and in it, I made a bonus announcement that you're going to get training access to me, and this is what you're getting right now. For many reasons, I should be selling this recording, or rather, I actually charge a fee for consulting on this. In fact, it was just yesterday night that I consulted another internet marketer on an aspect of doing just this, and right now you're getting it at a relatively steal. Okay, so that's the topic of my presentation today: Big Payday Secrets. I know it sounds pretty vague, however, I made it sure that this is something that you can actually do. So here's what you're going to be learning today. You're going to discover my favorite strategy to big paydays and how you can do it too. You're also going to get a deep dive in some of my real life case studies. One about how I made $106,000 in sales in just 5 days, and this offer got JVZoo Pick of the Day, which is akin to a bestseller if you're not familiar with JVZoo. So it's quite normal to get Pick of the Day once, and that in itself is an accomplishment. It's a rarity to actually get it twice in a row, but for this product, we got 3 times in a row in that month. This was in November 2015. So I mean, I had created a lot of offers that had got Pick of the Day, but this one stood out because it got not only once, not twice, but 3 times in a row. So I think this really deserves a special mention. I'm going to show you what made that happen, why was it a success, and how you can replicate the success as well. But it's not just about my offer. I'm going to show you another one which came from a student as well. Not mentioned here just yet. It's how he made $50,000 in 7 days using the same technique as well. All right. So ultimately, I break down my years of experience into a 5-step formula that you can follow. So how many of you would like to know that right now? Just say yes in the questions box. All right, that's just awesome. Fantastic. So I get a lot of enthusiastic now. And I know that viewing this webinar may be a lonely experience, but from my point of view over here, I know I'm actually dealing with the lot of you right now. In fact, there's about 70 people on this training at the moment, and 70 plus of you have decided to be here with me on this call. I know it's late for some of you, depending on which part of the world you're in right now, but you chose to be here, and I'm going to give you lots and lots of value from this one, okay? So that's just really, really amazing. So at the end of this training, I'm also going to give you a fast track option that you can consider as well. More on that later. So I'd just like to get to know my audience a little today, and I'd like to see like where you guys are coming from. Okay, so type real quickly, okay, into the questions box. What is the number one thing you want to get out of this training? So guys, I'm going to give you half a minute to do this, so be quick about it. And I just like to go through some of the responses as well, so that I like to see how I can adjust this training to also meet your needs. Because remember, this is not about me, it's actually about you guys. All right. So even though I created the slides in advance, but I want to make sure that this is something that's interactive, it's really for you as well. So, okay, here you go, guys. Half a minute. Just want to get a good feel on what you're looking for in this training. Okay, Mary says to make money online. Okay, I know that's what we're here for, right? So yes, Mary, that's what we're really here for. That's awesome. Okay, we have two Roberts here. One Robert said how to build and scale campaigns. The other Robert says he wants to know how he can get his first sale. And yes, I do agree with you. It's really important because once you know how to make the first sale, in fact, I'm going to be talking about that in a short while. Okay, how to make the first sale. And yes, once you make the first sale, you become a believer, and the rest of the sales become easier. Now, that's just saying that making the first million is the hardest, and making the second million comes the second hardest. I think it's pretty much the same with sales. Mr. Ting says the secret sauce of big paydays. You know what? You're going to find that out. And in fact, Mr. Ting, I'm going to be seeing you in person very soon next month. Okay, so we've got a few more people here as well. Mohammed says how to build a list. Okay, maybe we'll cover a little bit about that as well. Okay, so Okay, guys, for sharing with me on this. So I kind of builds a conviction in me that you guys are in the right webinar right now. You're in the right training. So it's good to know that everyone's here on the same page. And the reason why I ask is because some people had cast doubts as to whether this is a automated training of sorts, maybe in the replay, okay, but not right now. Right now, I'm actually sitting here live to talk to you guys. So I will encourage you to make the best out of it. So is it okay with you guys if I just spend a couple of minutes to tell you where I'm coming from on this? Is that okay? I'll do my best to get this part as quickly as possible. Just thought it might be important for me to lay the credentials because I recognize some of the names here on this call, and some of you I had actually written to before, and you said that you didn't really know of me before this prior to maybe buying my product, and that's all you know about it. Okay, so all right, so some say yes. So I'm going to gloss through this really quickly, just to let you know where I'm coming from. And I think the most important thing is that I know you want to see proof, so here it goes. So basically, again, my name is Edmund, and I'm the founder of this company called Mentor, and it's a digital publishing and internet marketing company. So if you go to any of my websites and you look at a footer with a copyright Mentor, that's the name of my company. So I've authored two books so far. One is called The Secrets of Millionaire Students, which is a blue book being sold right here in Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia, and that's a national bestseller. And a second book called Crushing It. So you're seeing this copy here right now. It's also sold in Malaysia, and it's also sold on Kindle, which had achieved amazing Kindle bestseller status just a few months ago. Now, when I'm not doing my business on the internet, I had also spoke at events here in Asia, including at Success Resources, Incitement, Startup Green, and a few more to name. And here in Malaysia, I've also appeared in the media like The Star, Management Malaysia, Malaysian Today, Income Diary, and a few more to name. So basically, that's where I come from. And here's the thing, I've been doing this business since 2005. So that's 11 years ago and counting. So all in all, I've pretty much seen a lot of things come and go, and what remained the same. So this is why I feel that I am probably one of the most qualified person to actually tell you how to go about building a business that really lasts. Because we've got a lot of people who make some money online, and let's just say they didn't really last long because they do not know how to respond to changes, and they found out they're just good at making money, but they do not know how to build a business that lasts. But let me tell you this, it wasn't always that way for me. So if you go back in time in 2004, basically I worked my first full-time job as an office boy. So if we convert our local currency to American dollars, I was earning anywhere from $200 to $350 a month. It was pathetic even by Malaysian standards. That was bad enough. I had to endure a crazy boss and extremely negative colleagues. I'm not going to dive into the details here, but just know that this was the kind of environment I had to put up with when I first entered the workforce right after high school. So I knew there and then that this was absolutely not for me. And even though I was not really an enterprising person right off the bat, I just knew enough that I needed to get out of the rat race because I didn't see my future over there. So I tried a few things. And one of them was multi-level marketing, or MLM. So I know that depending on where you come from, MLM may be seen as less favorable, And don't get me wrong, I know of friends who are doing extremely well with multi-level marketing, and they are MLM millionaires. Okay, so but long story short, I found out it wasn't for me, and I tried a few more other things as well, and it will only be in a matter of time until I came across the idea and the possibility of starting an online business. So that time, this was 2005. Okay, so what happened was that I was still staying in a suburban or a relatively rural area. I scraped up enough money after saving it for a year, okay, working at my job, and I saved up about $1,000 at a time. So what I did was that I immediately jumped into starting my online business, and what you're seeing on this picture right now, I don't know if you can see it, is an Aztec 56K modem. So I had a modem like this before, and yes, my business was originally founded on a 56K modem, even at a time where most of the parts of the country was already using a relatively fast broadband. So, but I was still using a 56K modem because they just didn't extend such a service to the place I was still staying in. So this was originally how my business was founded, on a 56K modem. I wish I can tell you that I made money right off the bat, but for the longest time, I was just staring at nothing but zeros like what you're seeing here right now. So at the time I was young, there was no such thing as JVZoo. JVZoo is actually a very relatively new marketplace. So at that time they had to check out and click bank. So this is basically a, um, a reproduction of what happened at the time. Okay, so I see one comment over here. I think it's worth mentioning right now. Robert said that his first modem was a 110 baud. Okay, so there we go. So I guess we all got our beginnings over there. So I wish I could tell you that things went out right, cool right off the bat, but very soon my $1,000 in savings depleted very quickly, and let's just say this was the toughest time of my life. I wanted to go get another job. Not that I really wanted to, but I was forced to do it. However, for some reason, I wasn't able to get another job again, despite going to interviews. So I had no choice but to continue this online business before the utilities get cut off or maybe get evicted by the landlord, because we were months behind on rent. And I think my landlord couldn't be any more merciful on my mother for too long. And then one day, or rather I would say one night, we made our first sale. And so what you're seeing here right now was a sale that we made. If you look at the date, 18th May 2005. So this was the first sale we made ever at $97. I was so excited that I ran up the stairs, I woke my mom up, and I got her downstairs, and I said, "Mom, you have to look at this. We made our first sale." And then my mom said, "But son, are you sure this is real?" I was so afraid of hearing that because, to be honest with you, I had not seen this before up to that point. It was the first time we've seen such a thing. I wasn't sure if it's real or not. So if you look at in the place where the details were blacked out, this is actually the customer details. Obviously, I blacked it out at the time when I printed this screenshot for privacy reasons. And I'm like, yeah, it should be real because we've not seen anything like this. This is the name of the product we're selling. The name and the address looks legit enough. And she's like, "But son, uh, I thought you said your customers are going to be American. So why is this still from South Africa?" Now, let me give you the notion at the time was that I was sold on the idea that most of the people who would be buying online were to be Americans. And but this was 2005, by the way. So probably, maybe even to this day, the United States records as probably the number one, if not one of the top spenders on the internet. So I was sold on that idea that most of the people buying online would be Americans. So it came across as a shock to me, or a surprise, that the first customer we got was actually from South Africa. And it was only after that we realized that anybody from anywhere in the world could just be as well your customers, and that gives the notion of a worldwide business. So regardless, this gave me hope to continue. And it would take a few more sales in the next several days, and we were able to withdraw our first 300 US dollars to at least pay a little bit of our bills here and there and keep the bill collectors at bay. So you can say that our online business has found relatively humble beginnings at the time. And the good news is that fast forward, we cleared off all the bills and we started on a clean slate the same year. Christmas 2005 was the best Christmas I've had because we cleaned everything up. We didn't owe anyone money again. So we started with a DAP 0 the following year in 2006, and the rest, as they say, is history. So today, just to give you a quick look at some of the accounts I have, like I have to say though that the screenshots are a little bit outdated, but frankly, I'm just a little lazy to update it all the time. But I think this gives you a rough idea that I've been making money online. So having a look at one of the JVZoo accounts, I've made $460,000 in sales, and another one, $229,000 in sales. As a disclaimer, I don't keep all the sales which I'm saying is gross. So that means I normally pay my affiliates 50%, so it is safe to say that half of this amount you're looking at right now is my profit, or somewhere there, maybe 45% just to be safe. But let me ask you, even if you earn half of 460,000, how much is that? That's about 230,000. Or you know what, let me just round that out and let's be modest. If you earn an extra $200,000 this year on top of whatever else you're making right now, will that change your life? Will that help you pay your bills on time, at least a little bit of time? Maybe you can afford a couple of holidays as well. Yes, I see that some people are saying this. I think you guys are agreeing with me over here. And by the way, if you feel that something resonates with you, you can just type in yes, and I'm actually looking at the comments as well. All right? Just so that you know that I'm actually talking to you, and I'm with you on this. So I think a lot of people here agree that even if you make an extra $200,000 profit, not revenue, okay, profit on top of whatever else you're making this year, it actually helps make a difference. I don't want to talk about you being a multi-millionaire and things like that, because here's the thing: when you know how to make money consistently, suddenly making your millions become easier and easier. But you can't get there if you do not have your fundamentals down. Agree? And exactly, and that's what I'm talking about over here. So moving on, this is an old screenshot, and I do not use to checkout.com anymore because they have changed their policies. However, this is still worth showing because some people had actually questioned me if I had been around long enough, and I think the looks of this screenshot actually explains and says it all. So in this account, I made $314,000 throughout the life of this account. I think it's about 2 years. And unlike the screenshot you had seen just now, these were sales that I kept entirely to myself, and with maybe probably less than 5% given to checkout as transaction fees. So you're looking at 95% of this amount being kept in my pocket in the space of 2 years. So that's like about 150,000 a year, which I think, can we agree that that's still good money no matter what, regardless of where you are in the world? Now, the way I say it is because if you run a decent life and you don't rake up a lot of crazy debts and you live a decent lifestyle, that should pull you along enough. To paraphrase a quote from a real estate friend of mine, you can even own a passport in Syria and still have a good life if you're making at least $10,000 to $20,000 a month consistently. So who cares about even if you come from Syria or some war-torn country? If you have money, you can pretty much live anywhere you want and live life on your terms. And I'm serious about it. Now, this is something you can even find on my Facebook. It's a public post. You can go to my Facebook and perhaps you can have a look at March 2nd. This was a in-house affiliate program of mine that I ran for years before I finally closed it down and centralized everything on jvzoo.com. So by the time I was closing it, this in-house affiliate program of mine has made $883,000 in sales. And why am I showing this? Is basically not with the intention to brag, but I know that proof is important to some of you, and also to give you the intention to show you that there's a lot of world of possibilities out there. So you look at the money aspect and the financial aspect, and that's good and all that. But to me, the reason why I still run an online business to this day is because of the rewards it can give that other businesses of other types in other industries just cannot give. For example, the freedom to go anywhere I want, even as my business makes money for me. So I've been to at least 21 countries and counting. And what you're seeing here is just one of the many. This is me in Egypt. This was in 2010. And the reason why I single out this picture is because this is one of the more memorable trips. I like history, and I do study some uh, ancient history as well. So it's something that intrigued me for a long time, probably because of ode to pop culture as well. So that brought me here with my friend. And this is a fairly recent picture. This is a few months ago. I took my mother to Disneyland Hong Kong. And admittedly, even though I was busy and I was excited with my internet business projects with my team, I wanted to take time off to send and bring my mother to Hong Kong and accompany her as well. Because here's the thing, for any of you who still have your folks, I feel that you want to take them out while they're still young and they can enjoy it. Because if you wait too long and they start getting less healthy and they age, they wouldn't be able to enjoy some of the finer things of life. So if you can, I really recommend that you get successful in your business as fast as possible so that you can take them out for a good time. For me, my mom has been a great supporter and a teacher to me. Even though she's not good with business or anything that's enterprising, but she's demonstrated to me as an amazing role model in times of trial. So I feel that doing this kind of things like taking her out is one of the least I could do for her, and while she's still relatively young. So she's 56 this year, or rather to be exact, 56 next month. And I want to take her out. If you can, I recommend it too. And here I am in the United States. This was me just early this year, and I stayed in the US for a month. And I finally got to meet up with a lot of my marketing heroes, many of which I was just doing business behind the screen for many years. To actually meet up with them in person was a very surreal feeling to me, if I'm using the right word. So yeah, this is just a teaser of or a taste of what an online business can actually bring you. And I think what I'm showing here is that you can basically live life on your terms. You can work anywhere you want or anywhere you bring your laptop to. And even if you decide to take time off, you can do just that because your online business is actually making money for you. So I do not know if any of you are um, into extreme sports like I do. How many of you like doing things like skydiving and bungee jump? I just want to see a number of yes over here. Okay, some of you. All right, that's awesome. Okay, so this is me in Macau last a few months ago only, by the way. This was okay. So I jumped off the tallest. It is said to be the tallest building in the world that has the bungee jump, and it was like 223 meters tall. I did just that, and if you can do it while you're still young, or if you want to conquer mental barriers, I really, really highly recommend you do that. Now, let me warn you though, the scary thing about the Macau Tower isn't actually the height. It's the price tag. And yes, for me to say that, that's saying something because I did this sky jump in Auckland, New Zealand years ago, and Macau Tower is at least twice as expensive, if not slightly more than that. So again, one of the good things about having an online business is that it can help you pay for all this fun and adventure that you like to have. So for 9 years, I ran my business strictly on my own. So I was a one-man entrepreneur, and don't get me wrong, you can run business on your own, but you don't have to be by yourself. So for me, I was looking for something extra or something different. So what I did 2 years ago is that I started this company called Muse Spencer, exactly what I had mentioned to you just now. And I went from being a one-man entrepreneur to having a team of 10 to 12 people. And the reason why I say 10 to 12 because people do come in and out, but this is basically the size of the team, about around hovering to about slightly a dozen or under. Okay, all of which I had trained them in specific areas of online marketing and digital publishing. So you're seeing this is a fairly recent picture of my team. This is the office where we're in right now. In fact, next year we're going to be relocating to a bigger office. So this is some of the many things you can do when you have a successful online business. So whether you want to work alone, have the internet laptop lifestyle, or you're the kind of person who wants to grow a business with people under you, you can do it all. Okay? So I think that's enough about me. Let's talk about you guys right now. So over the years, people have asked me, Edmund, what is the secret to making money online? And how do I make big paydays like what you seem to be generating every month? And that's exactly why I called this training Big Payday Secret. So if I were to distill everything I've learned in the past 11 years, what remained the same, what was just a fad, and what worked for me, I think we can boil that down to 5 steps. So here they are. Big paydays in 5 steps. Step 1, come up with an irresistible offer. Step 2, crank out a killer sales copy. Step 3, create a congruent funnel. Step 4, plan the launch date. And finally, step 5, recruit JVs and profit. So these are the 5 steps in a nutshell. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to get into detail right about now. So everything I described to you, I think today people call it the product launch method. So here's why I favor doing product launches. Every month I normally do one average. So why should you do product launches? I think the first obvious reason is that you want to get massive paydays. I can think of very few methods that can actually allow you to generate a huge burst of income within a relatively short time, and also helps you build your credibility as well, which, you know, whenever you do a launch, people subconsciously look at you as an expert or authority figure of some kind. And I've seen that many times, not only with myself, I've even done that with my coaching students who were previously, yes, just students, and suddenly people think that they are, you know, experts or authority figures. And the best part is it's not like they planted that idea into the masses, all right? If you think about it, this is also a form of free traffic because you only pay for results. When I get JVs and affiliates to promote my products, I don't have to pay them until they refer to sale, and only that I actually pay them. So think about it. You only need to pay for results. That means you don't have to front any upfront cash on this, all right? And to me, this is really fantastic. This is something I don't think you can really do with, like, say, e-commerce or a physical product business. I also like to me, number 4 is a very important thing. It's also the fastest way to acquire a high quality list of buyers. To me, I mean, I'm the kind of guy who, you know what, even if I don't make any profits from this launch, I'm okay with that because I'm always gunning for the buyers list. To me, it's the most important thing and the main reason why I want to do a launch. I want to get the buyers list. And once I have the buyers list, I can promote other products of mine and monetize it much later as well. So if you're not doing just yet, I promise you, you're actually leaving a lot of money on the table right now, all right? And number 5 is more like a perk actually, because when you start promoting other people with the new list you have, you start getting on other people's leaderboards. And you know what? It kind of helps you build that celebrity or expert status, and you become hit hunted. Instead of you going to other people to try to promote their product desperately, how would you like to have people coming towards you and say, hey, can you please promote my product? I'm willing to pay you higher than the average commission I'm paying somebody else or the masses. And when you have leverage like this, it puts you in a powerful position to negotiate. And you can even drive a hard bargain if you like to do it. But of course, please do it responsibly. And you don't want to come across as a douchebag, okay? So to me, these are some of the really amazing reasons why you want to do this. And for all the right reasons, this helps you get big paydays. So let's talk about the steps right now. Number 1, come up with an irresistible offer. Now this is the part where a lot of people tend to over-engineer, overthink, and overcomplicate it. To me, I like to keep things simple. Number 1, it's got to be a no-brainer. And what I mean by no-brainer is basically, is this something that if I offer this to someone else, will they just pay it outright? If the answer is yes, then I'm going to create just that. And on a deeper level, you might want to ask yourself as well, are people already looking for it? And are people already buying it? And here's the thing, I don't like to reinvent the wheel. And I think that creating demand is a task for bigger companies. Leave the task of creating demand to big companies. It's risky, and I don't have the appetite for huge risk. So what I like to do is the second option, is to cater or create an offer that people are already looking for because they're clearly looking for it, they're willing to pay for it. And what I like to do is that I like to come up with offers to cater just that. Okay, so you want to have a solution to an existing problem rather than something that hasn't happened just yet. So to give you some tips, what I like to do is that I like to go to the jvzu.com marketplace. So again, jvzu.com is a marketplace of a few years, and what I like to do is that I like to go to see the marketplace and have a look at the top sellers of all times, because I think this is a really good indication to see like the products that has been sold into the thousands of copies, and people are buying it. So what I do is that I'll come up with a very similar offer, but not 100% clone, because people don't really like to buy. Um, let's just say that people will always ask, what's so special about your offer compared to what's out there right now? Why don't I just go with an existing offer? So what you want to do is that you want to add a couple of things that differentiate your offer from what's out there, because I believe that there's no such thing as a perfect offer. There's always going to be flaws, imperfection, and there'll always be demand that cannot be met. So you want to add one or two things that your competitor is not catering to. Okay, you're going to be learning more about that in a case study afterwards. So the other place you can look at is the ClickBank marketplace. Now ClickBank has been the longest running digital product retailer since I think 1998. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's been there since 1998, even to this day. So ClickBank is really another amazing marketplace that's actually of epic proportions. If you thought JVZoo was huge, then you need to have a look at ClickBank. It's way bigger and it's been there but for a much longer time. So ClickBank is another place I would look at as well. Now, number three, I'm going to admit to you, it's something I've not done in many years, but you might want to consider, you can consider doing it. Okay, this is something I used to do long time ago. What I like to do is that I like to go to the Warrior Forum, especially the main discussion section. Now, you won't find me participating in the forum because there was a time I did that, but that was many, many years ago. Since then, what I like to do is that I like to observe the recurring threads on the first two pages. And what's really interesting is that when you start noticing some things that have been mentioned over and over again, I think it's a really good clue that there's some problems that's not really solved, or there's a hungry demand and it's not being met. So these are just some of my marketplace spy tips. You don't really need a lot to do it. In fact, I don't spend my time doing things like Google search, keyword tools, overthrow. I think that's like a very old thing. I don't think people do that anymore. Okay, but yes, uh, in short, you don't really need to work so hard to do so over research your way through. You just need to have a look at a marketplace, see what's selling, spend a few hours if you're new to it for the first time, come up with some ideas, and then off you go. All right. So once you get your product idea, the next thing you want to do is that you want to crank out what I call the killer sales letter. Now, I'm going to say that I don't have the time to run through the entire process on how to write a sales letter, because truth be told, writing a sales letter is a training in itself. There are people actually selling a full-fledged course on copywriting, and it's not to be underestimated. However, what I can give you is a quick rundown, and I'm actually very glad that this Facebook post pretty much saves me the time, because I follow a very similar copywriting formula, but what you see here right now is probably a more detailed version. So I screen captured this post a long time ago, that I even share this with my copywriter in my team so that she can improve her copywriting skills. Because here's the thing, if you want to know how to make money online, then you need to know how to sell. And I'm not saying that you need to call people one by one or do cold calling. That's not my idea of selling on the internet. But what I want you to do is that you need to get good at writing your own sales copy, because if you know how to write your own sales copy, then that means you're very clear with your offer. And when you outsource to someone else to do the work for you, like creating a product, and when you present it to potential affiliates and JV partners, they have a very clear picture on what your offer is about. So what you're seeing here is a 21-step sales letter process that makes money like gangbusters. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to give you half a minute to do this. In your GoToWebinar tab, I believe that there's a camera option. So what I want you to do is I want you to take a picture of this screen right now. And once you're done, I want you to write yes into the questions box so I know we can get moving again. Okay, so you have half a minute to just save the screenshot and just say you're done, and then we're going to get started again. We'll continue afterwards. Inshallah. Okay, done. Doubtful says yes. Says yes. Mr. Thing says done. Muhammad says done. Chan says done. Mailing says done. Alvin says done. Xavier says done. Okay, awesome. So just going to give you a few more seconds for anyone else who's not just yet. And okay, I'm going to move along, all right? So hold on to that thought for now. So learning how to write sales copy is important, but this comes to the next part as well. Creating congruent sales funnels or upsells and downsells. So I believe almost everyone here has at least seen an upsell or a downsell before. But I'm just curious to know, how many of you don't know what an upsell or a downsell is? Just say, I don't know. Just curious to know. If you do not know what an upsell or downsell is, just write in, I don't know. Oh, that's interesting. Looks like it's rather quiet suddenly. I take it that almost everyone on this call knows at least, but you know what? I'm just going to explain real quickly why this is important as well, because a lot of people think they know, but when they actually do it, then they realize that it's not actually converting or selling. So most people think they know what an upsell or what a downsell is, but they knew it from a customer's point of view most of the time. When it comes to actually being the marketer and creating the upsell and downsell, most of the time, most people don't know the process that actually goes into creating the offer. And therefore, you'll get two very interesting responses. The first type of response from your customers is that they think that you are being very greedy and unethical in offering upsells. And then you have a second type of a group of people who are very excited about your upsells and they want to buy more from you. So I mean, admittedly, guys, I can see some names over here, but I don't want to mention it for privacy reasons. I recognize some of you because I know some of you had bought more than one product from me. And I take it that you didn't have a problem doing that because you found out that the upgrade packages or one of my one-time offers is something that you also want to use and grow your online business. And why was that? Because when you create upsells and downsells, you have to think in terms of what will my customer need next. Is there something else I can help him out with? Or does he want an advanced upgrade or deluxe version or a bigger version of my main offer? And all these are okay questions to answer because here's why, which I'm going to get to in a case study in a while. So when you offer something, whether it's an info product or software, I think it makes sense to have an advanced version of whatever you're offering because there'll always be people out there who want more, okay? And actually, in fact, you can see it in fashion, you can see it in cars as well. Why do some people like to drive a specific brand of car, even though, you know, a car just takes you from point A to point B? Why do some people prefer to drive maybe some of the mid-luxury cars like BMW, Mercedes, Audi, and then you have some people who want to go higher and then they want Maserati, Lamborghini, and the price is not really an issue to these guys. On the other hand, you have quite some other people who are okay with Toyota, Honda, and more to name as well. So you can see that there's quite a little bit of an ego thing going on here as well. There'll always be some people who want something else that most people don't want to have. Just like in an airplane, you have economy, first class, and business class. So you always have different types of people filling in the seats. Okay? There will be people who can afford it, and then there will be the people who are basically the rest of the people. So it makes sense for you to have different types of offers in your sales funnel. However, how do you avoid having people thinking that you are selfish or unethical or greedy? And this actually shows in the kind of offers that you put up with. So for example, let's just say the front-end product that you have is called a cover design software, okay? So what kind of people will buy a cover design software? Probably other online business owners or graphic designers, okay? Makes sense. And then in the upgrade, you can offer an extra 100 built-in templates or more features to the same software itself, and there'll be another price for that. Some people will take it and the rest will probably not. But you notice that it's congruent, that's the most important thing. And now, for argument's sake, let's just say you offer a very irrelevant product. Let's just say the product is Speed Mandarin. Now that, my friend, is really screwed up. It doesn't quite make sense. So of course what I'm giving you is probably a very silly example, but believe it or not, there are a lot of people out there who are doing things like that because they do not know how a sales funnel ought to work. So here's the tips on how to do your upsells. Price it higher than a front end all the time. So if your front end offer is $37, your upsell should be $67. Okay, it doesn't quite make sense if you put it at $27 and below. I did that before and I realized that even though I get a high conversion, but I wound up with very little profit. So it's better to have a higher priced offer in your upsells. I mean, the purpose of this upsells is to help you make money, not the other way around. And just as well, you want to have this thing called a downsell, which is basically a lighter version of the same upsell where you knock off the price, but you remove the bonuses or a few components, but it's still a functional offer. All right. Again, not everyone is willing to pay the full price, but you don't want to leave money out on the table. Okay. And as a rule of thumb, I just want to be quick about this. I think that the sweet number for having the number of upsells and downsells shouldn't be any more than 3 or 4. By having 5 and above, I think you are really pushing it because there's only so many that people would tolerate before they get jaded. I tried with 2, I tried with 3, tried with 4, still is okay. I tried with 5 and I got negative feedback and I had some people who were, let's just say they were not happy. So I found out the limit was 4. Yes, you're welcome, by the way. Just save you some trouble and some angry customers over there. So guys, how many of you feel that you're learning a lot so far? Okay, some of you say yes. That's awesome. And the best part is we haven't got to the good part just yet. I just want to see whether you're on track on this. Yes. Thanks, Robert. Thanks, Janice. That's awesome. And yes, Robert number 2. So we have a couple of Roberts on the call today. All right. So once you get the funnel up and running, then the next thing you want to look at is you want to plan a launch date. Now here's the thing, there's actually nothing much to this, but I'm kind of surprised that some of the people I had spoke to, and including some of my coaching students, they weren't really sure about where to plan their launch, but maybe it's because it's their first time doing it. Totally understandable. So here's the thing for beginners, people who do it the first time. You know, one of the toughest things right now is that you don't want to launch the thing right away. Just because the product is done today doesn't mean you should set it out tomorrow. It doesn't quite make sense. If you're wondering why should we do a launch, and let me ask you this then. Basically, I'm going to answer this with another question. Now, have you noticed movies that we always watch? Have you noticed that they always have a release date? Like they plan it 6 months from now, 3 months from now, even 1 year from now. We have movies like that. Why do you think they're doing that? You see, because it's true, they could very well, have the whole film ready and put it out tomorrow. They probably get sales, probably that way, but it's a lot better and for them to get anticipation and generate a buzz so that they can increase their sales by the time they hit the cinemas. And that's exactly the same mindset I adopt when I launch my products. I don't just launch my product tomorrow and contact people right away. So what I do is that I set a date in advance, and let's just say my products are ready today. I will probably plan at least 2 weeks in advance, and that gives me time to contact the other potential affiliates and JV partners, because most of the time they are very busy people. So I put at least 2 weeks in advance so they can block a specific date and promote my product when it's time to launch. And that's the time you start seeing a lot of buzz and activity. Basically, you capture a huge market awareness compared to having people promoting your product piecemeal. Okay, so for most beginners, I recommend at least 2 weeks in advance. If you can, try put it 3 weeks in advance. So that gives you time to contact as many potential affiliates as possible and recruit JVs. And that's exactly the next step I'm going to talk about. Number 5, recruiting JVs or joint venture partners. Now, there's really nothing much to it, to be honest with you. A lot of people tend to, again, overcomplicate things. I stick by very simple rules. Be friendly, don't be a douchebag, and you got to present to your potential affiliates what's in it for them rather than what's in it for yourself. Okay? Because I have a lot of people approaching me to promote their product. It's true that I'm busy and there's only so many products I can promote in a week, and that's totally fine. But for me to consider someone to promote, I would like to promote, I'll look into a few key things here. Like number 1, is this a high quality product? Is this something that my subscribers really want? All right. And also, does it pay well? Because I'm in business, I'm not doing a charity over here. So I want to make sure that this is something that pays and is actually worth my time. So these are very legitimate questions your potential affiliates and JVs will definitely have when you approach them. So a few places I look at. Again, I don't look at many places. Last time it used to be that, but now I believe in looking at 20% places for 80% results. So 3 places I look at is muncheye.com. This is where I list my products as well. In fact, let's just go ahead over there real quick and have a look-see. So here you go. There's a Munch Eye, and this is where you can see a lot of launches that's happening. You can actually list your product here to get some beginners exposure as well. And you can contact some of the other people around here, and if they are in your similar market with a similar mailing list, you can actually contact them and see how it goes. All right. To me, this is a numbers game, and one word of advice: when you face rejection, you notice I said when and not if. Don't take rejection personally. In fact, to this day, not everyone agrees to promote my product, and that's okay because there will always be another time, and I keep the channel open. So that's one place you can look at. Another place you can look at is Facebook groups about product launches. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to my own Facebook really quickly, and I want to show you some of the places I go to JVs. So there are quite a few groups like this. In fact, one of them is Munch Eye itself, and just a few places that I go to, like 6-figure product launch group. In fact, all you need to do is just into the search bar here, 6-figure launch group, or maybe product launch group or something like that. So you see that there's quite a few choices over here. And when you start joining these groups, then you start noticing that there are other related groups as well. I'm going to be frank with you on this. You don't have to join that many groups as well. Personally, I joined, I think, about 1,000 plus. All of them are equally active, and they're mostly inhabited by almost the same people. So I think maybe for starters, you can join many groups, find out which one's active, which one gets the best response, and once you start realizing that there are only some that gives you really good responses or exposure, and those that are inactive, you can leave them afterwards and declutter your Facebook. So these are just some of the places I go to. In fact, let me just show you real quick some of the posts I share in this kind of Facebook. We announced my launch. This is the most recent one. I think most of you already know by now. It's a high-paying client secrets PLR. And before that, okay, this was my partner, Kate Tan, e-commerce fire sale. And then this was one of my other partners as well, June Ashley, where we launched Genie Pro in June, which got picked up today as well. And this is my own fire sale a few months ago. So you can see that I've been posting my JV invites on groups like this to get people to know this is my launch and see who's interested. Okay, it's still better that you approach people one by one, and nothing beats personal connection at the end of the day. All right, because here's the thing, I would rather leverage 1% of an army of 100 people than 100% on my own effort. If I do everything on my own, the results will be arithmetic. It's not going to be, basically it's going to be very limited. So on the other hand, if I leverage on the efforts of 100 people, for example, the leverage can be magnified so much significantly better, and the growth will be geometric rather than linear. Now, again, there's a third place you can consider looking at. Again, it's the Warrior Forum in the JV section. I'm going to admit to you, I haven't been here in a long time because I've been occupied with Munch Eye and Facebook groups. This in itself already helped me get the JVs I want, but I understand that some of you might want to look for more options, so Warrior Forum is still the other place you can consider. But of course, before you actually approach these people, make sure that you have your affiliate tools ready to go, because the last thing an affiliate wants is that for them to actually find out they have to do it themselves. And if they're going to have to do the work, they would rather promote somebody else. Okay? So make sure you have at least swipe emails ready to go. And nowadays, I pay close attention to the swipe emails. A lot of people write their emails very lazily. So what I like to do is I like to write it in 3 or 4 different angles. Angles means different ways to appeal to subscribers. Like, is it for the offline market? Is it for the general market? Is it for a very specific audience and things like that? So I always have a few different angles. And optional, you don't really have to do it because I was able to pull this off without doing it. But if you want to be complete, you can have banner ads and Twitter, Facebook messages as well, only if you would like to. But I think of everything here, the most important thing is that you want to have swipe emails in 3 to 4 different angles. Then your affiliates will be more enthusiastic to promote your offer and mail every day for the next 3 to 4 days because they have different ways to email their list rather than keep hopping in on the same angle over and over again. That cause people to be jaded and unsubscribe, because when your affiliates promote you, their reputation is on the line as well. So you notice this is pretty much some teamwork going on. On an optional note again, if you can, I recommend and I suggest that you also help prepare some bonuses that your affiliates can use so they can bring in more sales. And to me, I think this is effort worth putting in, because anything that can help my affiliates bring in more sales helps put more money in my pocket as well. And I found out that this works beautifully and splendid for the last 2 years. So let's talk about a case study. This was the one I've been telling you about, the one that made 106K in actually it's supposed to be 5 days, not 6. My bad, it's a typo. $106,000 in sales in 5 days, and it got JVZoo Pick of the Day not once, not twice, but 3 times in a row. If you don't believe me, you can go and check out jvzoo.com's marketplace, look at the top sellers in the featured products, and go back to November 2015, and you'll see that anything to do with e-covers, 3 of it is from Cover Genie Pro. So everything that I have taught you so far basically is what helped me create success stories like this. And I'm only singling this out actually because I have created some more offers that was pretty much like this or on par, although this is probably one of the more visible ones because of the 3 times JVZoo Pick of the Day. When I did a fire sale in April early this year, even though it did not get Pick of the Day, but it still made $88,000 in 5 days in total sales. So I feel that this is still something that's really fantastic, and using everything that I had just taught you had helped me produce results like that. But some of you might be wondering, is this something that's reserved for only a few people or a select few people? Here's the other one I want to share with you. This guy goes by the name Trevor McHaffey from Canada, and he's one of my coaching clients. So he signed up with me early this year, and a long story short, he wanted to launch his own offer, and I helped him do just that. So I have a few coaching packages, which I normally explain to people who really want to work with me. And to cut a long story short, he's a gold client of mine. So he's not some low-end person. He's a gold client of mine, and I hold him in high self-esteem. All right, high esteem. Sorry about that. And what happened was that in May, he launched his software with my help and my team's help to help him create a sales funnel for him. And he basically generated $50,000 in a week, and he got JVZoo Pick of the Day. In fact, we were on Skype when he was launching his offer, and this is just a portion of the conversation. I was asking him how many sales he was making, and he said sales were coming in like crazy. Last I checked, 97 sales, 101 sales with 481 EPC. It's almost $5. You know, basically EPC means earnings per click. And if you're making $1 a click, you're doing quite good already. And he's doing almost 5. Okay. And if you check out jvzoo.com's featured products, you see that on May 10, his product, Instant Funnel Machine, was awarded Pick of the Day. And when he shared this on his Facebook, you can see that of the top 10 sellers, 3 of it was dominated by his offer. Number 1, number 4, and number 10 respectively. This was all dominated by him when he launched it. And by the time it ended, he made 2,485 copies sold. So that's 2,485 copies sold, just 15 sales shy of the 2,500 mark, which I thought it was really good. In contrast, when he tried to do it himself the year before, he only sold 188 copies when he tried it himself. So you can see that with my help and the 5 steps I explained to you, he made $50,000 in sales, and that covered his coaching fee plus everything else. He basically made back many times more than what he invested with me when we both started out. So this is the kind of power I'm talking about, and that, my friend, was his big payday. And since then, he's been a lot happier, uh, and that's what I call life-changing. You know, the word life-changing is something that a lot of people tend to use very loosely. Game-changing, life-changing. Uh, I have to admit, I got jaded using those words when I started finding out that they are the mainstream words. But here, kid you not, it really changed his life, because before that, I'm not saying this to knock Trevor down or belittle a situation, but when he came to me, he was a very different person, and things were basically not working out for him. And if you struggle for a very long time, I think you can relate to Trevor Mahaffey before this. So this was where Trevor came from, and using the 5 steps I had explained to you, and with my help, because he also engaged me to create his sales funnel for him and advise him on how to do his launch, he was able to do $50,000 in a week, something he had not seen before, and it did multiple times better and more profitable than he tried to do it himself, with 188 sales in just a year before. So guys, I just want to recap real quick on the 5 steps. One, come up with an irresistible offer. That's the most important thing, because if you don't get this first step down, the rest of the steps will not make sense. When we released Cover GD Pro, it was not the only cover design software out there. In fact, there was a major launch about cover design 2 months before ours. So we needed to find a way to differentiate ourselves from that competitor, and we found out ours was the first and only one at the time to come up with photorealistic mockup. So that in itself was a selling point. And our competitor had 32 models. Ours now had 150. So you can see that differentiating yourself from your competitors is very, very important. And the second step is to come up with your sales copy. This is a skill worth learning. If you do not know yet, this is something worth investing your time in. Learn how to write killer sales copy. And I have a favorite saying, you won't go broke again once you learn how to write sales copy. Number 3, create a congruent funnel. And this is the recipe to create high 5-figure and even 6-figure launches as well, as you had seen for yourself. Step 4, once you're done with everything, plan the launch date and get the JVs after that. And once you have your eggs lined up, it's really to start profiting. So guys, I hope that you've learned a great deal of value today. So just really curious to know, how many of you felt like you really learned something new today so far? Just say yes if you learned something new. Okay, I see a stream of yes. That's really awesome here. You know what? I'm really happy that you guys say yes. I think that's just really awesome as well. Robert says yes. David says yes. Mr. Singh says yes. Oh, tons of new stuff. Ronnie Lowe says yes. Chris says yes. Muhammad says yes. That's really awesome. Okay. Sorry about that. Jenny says yes. Agung says yes. Oh, hey, Agung's here as well. That's awesome. Hey, Agung. Hope you're doing great. So, okay, that being said, I hope you guys have been taking notes and all that, but we're not done yet. Just, I want to wrap this up in a short while, okay? So really quick, at this point, you've already learned my 5 steps to doing big paydays, and this is something that I do every month. When yes, I do other methods to make money online. I do affiliate marketing. I do other things as well. But product launch is something that I also do, and that's the secret to my big paydays, and I do it with my team. So at this point, you're probably asking yourself, so what do I do? What's the next step? Okay, with all this information. So the way I see it, that there are 2 options. The first option is that you can try doing everything yourself or figure everything out yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that was me when I started out, and that was me for the longest time. But let me tell you the limitations of being self-learned. Okay, the problem with trying to figure everything out by yourself is that you get overwhelmed. Okay, so for me, I was a self-learned person for the longest time, and even though I take pride in learning everything on my own, as I mentioned my story to you, I started out as an office boy. I took a chance quitting the job to start this online business, and I did it under no guidance at the time. It's all guesswork, and let me tell you this, it was not fun at all. I think this picture you're seeing right now kind of summarizes what I was like at the time, trying to figure everything out on my own. So most people had given up, and while I was fortunate not to give up, I persevered all the way. And even then also, I saw the limitations of my income at the time. So what happened in the last 2 years, I started engaging mentors in specific areas of my business and my life, ranging from selected areas of my business to even doing gym training for, and financial planning outside my business, and financial planning for my personal self as an individual. So, and I found out I made more money, or to be exact, more profits in the last 3 years than the first 8 years combined when I started having mentors. Because here's the thing. Let me share with you a message that I got when someone tried to apply for my coaching program, and I get messages like this all the time. So really quick, what is your biggest obstacle? That's something I normally ask. And this person had this to say: information overload, information overload and a lack of good coaching. Invested a significant amount of money with zero returns on my investment. Recently retired, looking for a coach to help me out and to put the pieces together to reach my financial goals. And what is not captured in this picture is that this guy has been trying since 2008. Today is 2016, and this guy has been trying for 8 years, and he's nowhere closer to his goal. And this, my friend, is why self-learn is very limiting actually, and not everyone actually makes it. In fact, the success rate is a lot lower. Most people don't persevere. And then there's the second option. You can follow someone else who's already doing what you want to achieve, and this is what I am doing right now, even to this day. Because I firmly believe that while smart people learn from their own mistakes, and that was me last time, I realized that smarter people learn from other people's mistakes. So in the last 3 years, I realized that there were a lot of mistakes that I had avoided and averted rather than commit them recklessly and unnecessarily. I found myself on the fast track. So in 2015, I doubled the profits of our companies in 2014. So that in itself was a feat. And this year, as of June, we already made 2015's profit. So let's see for the rest of the year if we are able to double 2016 again. So this is the kind of exponential growth I'm talking about when you have experts, financial advisors, and mentors to actually help you out. And that's the state I'm in compared to me 10, 11 years ago. And what you're seeing here right now, these are screenshots taken from various days in my account. Sometimes when I talk to people, I always tell them things like, you can potentially make $300 to $500 a day. Some people might have a hard time believing that, but most of the time I'm actually being modest already. And what you're seeing here is something I don't share all the time, because I'm the kind of person who believes that income is something that's more of a private matter. But then again, this internet marketing we're talking about. So I know that seeing proof and credibility is a very important thing to you, because when you get it right, you can be seeing results like this. And the best part is, this is not like the best income ever, because there are still people out there, and I'm going to give them that they make a lot more money than I do. And it goes to show that there's a lot of possibilities out there on the internet. Okay, but let's just say we dial down the numbers a little bit. Let's just be modest. Even if you make 500 a day or 300 to 500 a day, how much is that? That's like $9,000 to $15,000 a month. Or how much is that in a year? At least $100,000 a year minimum. Okay, on top of whatever else you're making right now. And in some cases, for some of you, you can even replace your current job so you can pursue this full time. Okay, so with your permission, here's what's happening right now. Okay, personally, I'm looking for a small group of serious individuals, and this could be something that you might want to consider. Okay, because if you qualify, I'll take you by the hand and teach you what I've been doing all this while, and how you could potentially make $500 to $1,000 a day from your internet business, like the kind of results I was showing you. Okay, how to generate big paydays with your online business. So if you qualify, two things are going to happen. One is that I'll take you by the hand and show you exactly what you need to do and succeed online and build your business for you from scratch. Okay, and you're going to eliminate all the guesswork and the puzzle work that's been stopping you or troubling you from actually doing the things you always wanted. Because let's be real, guys. The reason why we're doing this business is because we actually have higher goals. We don't really want to be sitting in front of a computer forever, right? I mean, we want to spend time with our families. For some of you who are parents and you have your own kids, you want to be doing that. And for some of you, perhaps there's some things in life that you actually want to buy. And I think there's nothing wrong with calling it a guilty pleasure or of sorts. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? So you can get things done fast with confidence, knowing that you're working with the best. Now, this is something I don't want to say bragging, But I've been doing this for 11 years, and to this day, I find very, very few people who know the internet marketing world the way I do. Okay? So imagine how life is going to change for you once you get one-on-one personal attention from me. And remember the Muse Mentor team I was telling you about just now? I also have a team of trained experts that do all the technical heavy lifting for you. All right? That's my team. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I doing this? Here's the thing. Over the years, before I did such a thing, I have been approached many times, whether it's friends, whether it's subscribers, whether it's customers, show them how can I make money online, all right? And all in all, I basically know and experience everything I've talked about. So you've seen it all in the results and all the evidence standing before you. You've even seen the success stories as well. Okay? My clients have got to grow their business and make money beyond what they thought was possible, and some have even graduated to become my affiliate and strategic partners even. I'm going to share more on that in a while, okay? There are some people like that. Okay, in fact, we're going to do it right now. So this is Kate Tan. I bet most, if not all of you, have not heard of her until just last month. So what happened was that she joined my workshop here in Malaysia, and I have to hand it to Kate that she's a very determined individual. This is an example of someone I'm very happy to work with. So she doesn't offer any excuses whatsoever. She's the kind of person who gets things done, and that's exactly the kind of people I love working with. So what happened is that I just casually asked her how much sales did she make in 5 days, and she did $770 in profits, and I thought that was really, really good, especially for a Malaysian. And she was only been with me for like 2 months. And I think in the coming months, you're going to be hearing more from her. She's just an amazing person to work with. Moving on, there's also a couple that made $5,000 in 4 days. It's Sean and Kelly, and this was the screenshot they shared with me and their message as well. So I know this may not be a wow kind of results compared to the numbers I showed you just now, but I'm just being realistic with people who are just starting out, and these are the kind of results they are already seeing, you see. Because you see, I think from what you can gather by now, I'm the kind of person, I like to build a network of people around me. So that's why I'm doing this, and the people you have seen just now are just some of the few people that I am working with right now in my network as well. So I believe in networking. I believe in building my own circle of people that I would love to work with, so we can help each other out, promote each other, and things like that. Okay? So I think where I'm going to is that something that I don't really explain in my sales videos on my websites all the time is that I actually am the kind of person who likes to build a legacy. That's why I work with my financial planner and plan out my assets outside of my online business, like properties and precious metals and things like that. Again, I think this is probably worth talking some other time, but outside the online business, that's actually the kind of person I am. I'm the kind of person who likes to build a legacy, okay, and that's kind of my main driving force right now. So on a more personal matter, it's also about honoring a personal promise I made to an old mentor from many years ago. I don't talk that much about him because he's not really an internet kind of guy. He's pretty much an offline kind of person. So the idea of paying it forward is something that I learned from him. Okay? And promise me one thing, when you make it as well, I want you to pay it forward too. Okay? I think we need more people like that. So I think telling you all the good stuff will not be complete without the bad news, and here's the bad news. I can't help everyone, and I'm being serious about that because there's not a gimmick or a scarcity kind of thing going on. Heck, actually, I think it really is scarce because I'm involving my time and my team's time as well. Between our projects and yours, we don't want to spread ourselves too thin. So the only way we can offer this one-on-one coaching, and if you would like to, a done-for-you service, is to restrict the access to only a few people. And I don't want to spread myself too thin because I think that will compromise my attention to you. Make sense so far? So that's it. Let me first of all tell you who this is for and who this is not for, and I think that's fair. Okay? If you're the kind of person who's looking for a quick fix, short-term solutions, well, I think this is not for you for sure. Okay? If you're a very skeptical or negative person by some chance, again, this is not for you. Again, my time is really involved here, and if I'm going to work with you on a personal level, I would prefer that you're a positive, forward-thinking person. So on another note as well, if you're the kind of person who's betting your last life savings, gambling on me to save you from your financial problems, I do not want to be that person as well. Okay? I feel that this needs to be set out of the way as well because I know people's got their own financial problems, but if you're the kind of person who's like throwing your last money on me right now, hoping I'm your miracle worker, I'm not the person for you. Okay? However, if your attempts at making money online has so far produced mediocre, no results, if you're fed up seeing everybody else making it except you, and but deep down, you know you deserve the best this business has to offer, but you just haven't quite figured out how this works, okay? And you're the kind of person who's willing to do whatever it takes, then this is for you, okay? Because this just might be your best and only chance to finally succeed online and live life on your terms. I've said that many times because that is really how I feel about my online business and the way I live my life right now. Everything I'm doing right now is because of choice and deliberate design. It's not because I have someone else tell me what to do or a boss over me. This online business, me spending time on vacations, me buying things that I want, is because I really want it. It's not because someone else told me to. And it's not even peer pressure for that matter. Okay? So if you want the idea of having more choices in your life, then I will welcome you to come and work with me. So here's how it works. So I'm doing an application-only process for this high-level partnership program. And because I want to talk to as many of you as possible, or in this case, a trainer of mine as well, I want to make sure that we are a good match. Are you okay with that? Because if you are, here's what I would like you to do. If this is something that you really want to consider, getting coaching from me, or optionally you want to have done for you service, what I would like you to do is that I want you to go to this link right now. In fact, I want you to take a picture of this, this screen right now, or heck, just type adminlow.com/coaching app, and let's see where this goes to. Okay? So I want you to do just that, and let me just show you really quick what the form looks like. So when you go to adminlow.com/coaching app, will be at my official homepage with an application form over here. So you notice that there's a form for you to fill over here, your name, email, and basically all the details to follow, okay? I do ask that you fill it with honesty, because to me, being authentic is a very, very important thing. And while you're at it, you can see that these are video testimonials from other experts and coaching students. So yes, this is Trevor again. And further down, you will come across some familiar testimonials like, yes, Sean and Kelly, that's who they were, and Kate, and quite a few more for you to see as well. And you decide if I'm someone worth working with. So that being said, I want you to go to admirallow.com/coaching app right now if this is something that you really want as well. Okay? But a heads up, my time is really limited. So what's going to happen is that either I or my authorized trainers will call you. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at your applications, and if we see that you are a fit, and we're going to get on a call with you, and at the end of it, we'll take on a maximum of 3 people. And why I say maximum 3 people is because our time is really limited. We're not, let's just say that we're not in a business of coaching people full time, okay? We normally sell products online, and we have more fun doing that actually. It's a lot more profitable, but we understand in the long term that building a circle of partners is a long-term gain as well. So if you'd like to come and join us in this fun, and you deem me to be a fit mentor for you, and you want to go with us, I will implore you and encourage you to sign up right now at admirallow.com/coaching app, fill in the form, hit submit, and what we're going to do is that we're going to have a look at your application. If we like what we see and we feel that we are fit, either I or my trainers will give you a call within the next 24 to 48 hours. And then at the end of the call, we'll decide if this is something that you'll really, really like to do. Okay, so you'll be getting on a call with me or my trainers for the matter, and then we'll just move forward from there. Okay, that's all there is to it. And I think the session is pretty much about done right now. I hope you guys have learned a great deal today. And most importantly, this can help you make money online. All right, so my name is Edmund. Thanks for being here with me today, and all the best in your marketing success, guys. So good night or good day for you guys. I'm going to stay here for a while more to take on any questions, so I'll be checking with you guys by chat box, okay? So I'll be just here for a few more minutes.